All righty, well, welcome everybody. This is Dr. Stan Harris, known as Dr. Breakthrough, and we're going to be talking about how to build a big team fast. We're going to give you some breakthrough team building principles and so forth, and also a few things about our 21-day breakthrough challenge. And so again, want to welcome you. Let's see if I can, just so you know, we've been in this industry full-time since 1990. The last formal job I had was in 1990. I was a college professor. And so I was one of those guys that would stand up in front of people and totally promulgate my esoteric cogitations and articulate my superficial sentimentalities. I mean, I was educated. But you know, the guy never thought I made out as high school, ended up going to college 12 years, graduating postgraduate work, and was a college professor, like I said, for several years. And somebody then messed me up. He said, how'd they mess you up, Doc? Well, they said, how'd you like to start making more money in a month than you make an entire year? Now, you gotta understand, from a boy from the ghettos, you know, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, I thought I'd made it. I was like, man, 12 years of regular school, 12 years of college, and now you talk about I can make more money in a month than I was making an entire year. I'm thinking, man, I'm not going back to college. I had enough of this. They said, no. It's not about college. They said, we're going to mentor you and we're going to show you how you can start making more money in a month than you're making an entire year. And so I was like, are you okay, for real? And they were for real. And so they started mentoring me and teaching me. I started implementing, and that's important now, because it doesn't matter, you can have the greatest teacher in the world, but if you're not an implementer, then it's going to short circuit. You know, the greatest book ever written says the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. So it's not enough just to hear something good, and you're going to hear some good stuff today. It'll reconfirm for some of you, it'll be new for others of you and so forth. But the main thing is you have to do something with it. You have to put it into practice. And so they started mentoring me. And by the way, just so you know, mentors, by the way, are the fastest, I like to say, easiest way to learn any new skill. You know, it was Socrates that mentored Plato, and then Plato mentored Aristotle. Aristotle mentored Alexander the Great, and then Andrew Carnegie mentored Napoleon Hill. W. Clement Stone was mentored by Napoleon Hill, and then W. Clement Stone, once he was mentored by Napoleon Hill, he turned around and mentored a guy named Jack Canfield, who's the co-author of the billion dollar with a B book series, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And of course, Jack Canfield has mentored millions. Benjamin Graham mentored Warren Buffett, and perhaps the greatest investor of all time, most famous anyway. And of course, Warren Buffett has mentored millions. Matter of fact, recently someone asked him, said, what, in these hard economic times, what's the greatest thing you can invest in? And so he said, grab something to write with, and he said, lean in. And so they wanted to hear what this great Warren Buffett said, in these hard economic times, what's the best things to invest in? And he said, yourself, invest in yourself, invest in your mind. And so congratulations to those of you, because again, we're going to be teaching and talking about principles from the book, How to Build a Big Team Fast. And by the way, this is National Book Month, among other things. I think it's also Breast Cancer Awareness and also Hispanic Heritage Month. And book month. So anyway, so he said, invest in yourself. And of course, it was, oh my goodness, Jim Rohn that I used to travel with, and we shared a platform at different places from time to time. And he's the one who made it famous. He said, a formal education will help you make a living, but personal development and personal education will help you make a fortune. And so, matter of fact, Bill Bailey was a mentor for Les Brown. And then Les Brown, of course, has mentored millions. As a matter of fact, one time, Les Brown spoke to over 80,000 people at the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. And of course, Les and I have shared the platform many places. Bill Bailey also mentored Jim Rohn. And of course, Jim Rohn mentored millions. And one among those, he mentored a young guy named Tony Robbins. And Tony, of course, has mentored tens of millions. In the Bible, Moses mentored Joshua, and then Joshua mentored the Israelites, 3 million of them. Elijah mentored Elisha. Elisha mentored the widow woman and helped her to start her own home-based business. It's the first time home-based businesses ever came about. And that was right in the Bible. And this woman who was a debtor and about to lose her children was able to start her business, pay off her debts, and her and her children were able to live the rest of their lives off of the profits. As a matter of fact, Ananias mentored Saul, who became Paul, and then Paul mentored young Timothy. And of course, Timothy mentored the church. Jesus mentored the disciples. And here's what he said. He said, the works that I do shall you do also, and greater works than these, meaning that the mentee not just can do what the mentor has done, but the mentee has the potential of doing double what the mentor has done. And those you know the difference between Elijah and Elisha. Elijah did great miracles, but Elisha saw twice as many miracles. And so, my friend, I like to tell people this. See, if you believe like I believe and do like I do, what happens for me can happen for you. But because I'm not the standard, it can happen even better for you. And so when we talk about how to build a big team fast, and we'll give you just a little bit of what some things have happened for us, but primarily I want to teach and train you just like in the martial arts. Let's see if I can remove this background here just for a minute. In the martial arts, becoming a champion. Let's see here. You can see a few of the trophies back there. There's a few trophies there. Let's see, there's some more here, and there's some more over here, and there's a whole bunch more in the garage. There's a bunch that I gave away, and my wife said, okay, enough is enough, right? But anyway, and so, but as a champion, it's not just what I was able to accomplish. And I'm one of 110th degree black belts, by the way, been voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame, as well as the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame. And, a lot of times speakers say, well, I'm not trying to impress you. No, I'm trying to impress you because I don't listen to people I'm not impressed with, okay? But here's the thing, though, I want to impress you so I can impress upon you. As a champion, I train champions. As a champion, my friend, I've been blessed, I believe, to be a blessing to others. As a matter of fact, I've taught more people how to break a board or brick than any other man alive. And we've done more martial arts demonstrations. We've been traveling now doing demonstrations since I was 15 years of age, and now I'm in my 60s, so you can do the math, okay? And so anyway, 60 years, actually I'll be 62 here in a couple months. I know Coach got me by a few years, and Miss Gail got me by almost 10. Well, no, yes, okay, yeah. But that's okay. I'm catching y'all, okay? And the closer I get to y'all, the further y'all get away, but that's okay. But anyway, I say all that to say, that I've learned some things, and most importantly, I want to transfer those things to you, and I want those things to be able to bless you, so you, my friend, can even exceed. I've had the blessing of mentoring some folks who've been able to exceed what I've done, and so that's my greatest joy, and just like what I taught my children. And so again, my friend, this whole thing of mentorship. So these people started mentoring me, and literally I implemented it. By the way, write this thought down. A true mentor oftentimes will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer. Oh, wow, that's good, right? Matter of fact, somebody, come on, a couple of y'all put that in the chat too. Put that in the chat real quick. A true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer, okay? So a true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer, right? So they're gonna like, hey, did you get that done? Did you do? Because a true mentor is not just someone who's gonna teach you and just being a good example and role model, but they're gonna check on you, and they're gonna say, you're gonna have some accountability, and they're gonna say, hey, did you get this done? Did you do this yet? So okay, so let's have a couple folks put that in the chat to make sure you're still with me and following along. See if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So in the chat, give me a couple people to put down in the chat. A true mentor, write this out for me now in the chat, somebody. A true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer. All righty. Let's see here. Okay, somebody help me out. Put that in the chat, or maybe you did and I just don't see it yet. All righty. Or maybe I got one of those delays. But a true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer. So they taught me, and I started making more money in a month than I used to make an entire year. And boy, oh boy, I tell you, now it didn't happen exactly like this, but I jokingly tell people, I walked into my boss and I said, hey, boss, hey, thank you, Joe, for putting that in there. Thank you, LaShawn. That's right. A true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer. So thank you, Joe and LaShawn Hargrove. Thank you very much. Gail, thank you. Janice, AKA the Rainmaker. There must have been a delay because now they're starting to pop up. Anita Brown, thank you very much for putting it in there. So anyway, so I walked into my boss. I said, boss, I'm sorry, I can't work anymore. And I said, I got eye trouble. And the boss said, eye trouble, what's wrong with your eyes? And I said, I can't see myself working for you anymore. And that was back in 1990. And I've been psychologically unemployable ever since, because I found this principle out that profits are better than wages. That's something you might want to write down. Profits are better than wages. And when I found out I can start making profits, by the way, in this industry, a home-based business, I've been paid as much as $22,000 in a day, right? How'd you like to have, I made $22,000 days. Now, by the way, thank you, Anita, for putting that down. Profits are better than wages. There you go. Hey, Kevin T, you're right. A true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer, okay? And so watch this, my friend. So watch this. Profits, when I realized that profits are better than wages, as a matter of fact, I just got a new client that I'll be speaking for, that they're paying me $1,000. Now, the most I've been paid is $47,000 to speak 1 hour, okay? So how many believe now profits are better than wages, right? That's called profit. In my wage days, I can never do enough to make $47,000 in 1 hour. And guess what? But now I just got a new client that's paying me $1,000 per minute. Okay, so put that down, $1,000 per minute. And yeah, I want to impress upon you, listen, this is something I never even dreamed would happen for me. I'm telling you, this is something I never thought, I never even imagined. People talking about, you'll never exceed your dreams. No. I never even dreamed this big. So I'm telling you, my friend, and I'm saying this, if it happened for me, it can happen for you. And most importantly, that's why I mentor people. That's why I coach people, my friend. I believe, first of all, I believe there's an anointing on my life, but also I believe that I know how to transfer and to inspire and give you some things that can really help you. So yeah, $1,000 per minute. That's the latest and greatest that just recently happened. And so what I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you, and again, in the home-based business industry, because again, I speak and travel, but in the home-based business industry, like I said, the most we've been able to do is $22,000 in a day. How many of you would not have a problem if you did even 5,000 in a day, right? It's like, man, 1,000 in a day, right? So, but here's the thing, my friend, there's some principles and that I've practiced. And one of my wife and I, one company, we built a team of over 13,389 people. In just a few months, as a matter of fact. The owner and I had a kind of contest. If I told him I believe that I could do 10,000 people. No, he challenged me. If you can do 10,000 people in three or 4 months, I think it was, that he would give me part ownership. And I was like, oh, man. So I was back in my decade or so ago, about 12 years ago. So, but anyway, I put it on, and instead of 10,000, we did over 13,000. And unfortunately, he wasn't a man of total integrity. I guess he got scared. He's like, man, this dude really did it. He's like, man. But anyway, but then I went on and worked with a company that hired me to be their international training director, which sent me around speaking. And but I like what they were doing. I never had to recruit or do anything, but I like what they were doing. And when I speak, I always invite people. So I said, hey, so they put me a little spot in, and so those checks started getting as big as my speaking check. So I was like, you know what, let me slow down, do this thing. And make a long story short, I started building. And from the time I started building, 5.5 months later, I was making $25,000 per week, which equaled 100,000 per month. Okay, let me say it, make sure you got that. $25,000 per week, which was $100,000 per month. Like there was no way I was ever going to make money like that being a college professor. There was no money I was ever going to make money like that as an evangelist traveling around, which I still travel around and preach, right? But through the home-based business industry, I'm telling you, my friend, this thing is awesome. Now there's a lot of crooks and there's some crooked things, right? But when you find the right company, the right situation, but I teach what's called transcendent principles. So the principles that I teach, it doesn't matter what company, what concept, my friend, if you implement them and you're willing to work. And so I just want to kind of set the stage a little bit, set the tone. So let me just unmute for somebody talk to me. Is this helping anybody so far? And again, I'm not trying to lift myself up, but I'm trying to let you know that I came from nothing. and blew out my greatest, dreams. As a matter of fact, when the reason I wrote this book, because I went to the top of 9 different companies. Well, at this time, it had been 8 different companies, and people kept saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so I put it in book form. And while I was writing this book, I actually personally sponsored with another company I was an international training director for. I personally sponsored 998 people. And at 6.5 years, it blossomed into 1.5 million members, okay? 1.5 million members worldwide. And again, I didn't even think I could do anything like that, right? So 1.5 million members worldwide. And so I thought about, man, I need to make an addendum to the book. And I was like, nah, the book's good like it was. I was building, I think I make reference or mention in here that I personally sponsored 900 something people, and that I think it was like 700,000 at the time. I'm not sure, but anyway, let's see. So unmute your line real quick. If anybody got a quick, is this making sense to anybody? Is this helping anybody? Because again, I want to make sure that you understand I'm not some untouchable person. But I just practice principles. But is this helping anybody?
Makes sense to me.
Hey.
I am Miss Gail. I'm trying to be a coach.
All righty. Anybody else?
Yes, that's awesome. Awesome, inspirational and motivational message here. And I think that if we do any of the things that you have suggested, we will become awesome, awesome team builders. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Janice, the Rainmaker. All righty. Anybody else? Anybody else? Real quick. Anybody else?
Yes, it makes real sense to me because
There you go.
hey, we going to the other side. That's all I'm saying.
All right. By the way, Veronica, do you know nobody ever had a training how to build a big team fast, but anytime there was a training or something, I got on it because I wanted to learn, I wanted to grow, right? And books, I'm reading books, videos wasn't as popular back then, but we had our cassettes and our VHS or cassettes, and those live meetings. Okay. Is anybody else? So just real quick, I'm about to go on and get in some deep stuff here, but I just want to make sure, are you tracking with me? Is anybody else picking
Kevin
up?
got his hand up.
Okay. Hey, Kevin, your hand's up there. I don't know if you meant that or, okay, Kevin. Let's see here. All right, we'll just lower the hand until if you see it and you've got a question or comment, then all right, is there anybody else real quick? Anybody else? Is this making any sense to you? Is this
It makes good sense to me.
Yes.
Okay.
This is where we want to go.
Okay. All right, Joe. All right. Thank you.
I remember probably 30 years ago, must have been in the 70s and 80s, and everybody said I was crazy. But I spent $5,000 for that case of Dare to Be Great tapes for those of you all that are old as me. I still got the case in my garage. I'm scared to put them in the cassette player because I don't want them to disintegrate. So I plan to send them off and see if they can redo them, but I don't want to mess them up. So that just goes to show you. And I've been in networking 47 years.
Wow.
And it takes me to get to 70, for all of it to kind of come in and click. So don't be discouraged. Just keep doing it, keep learning, keep teaching, keep sharing.
There you go.
Loud and clear, Dr. Breakthrough.
Hey, all righty, coach. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All righty. CW says makes total sense. Veronica says, yes, makes sense. Yes. Okay. All righty. So real quick. So I'll give some principles here. Again, the mentorship, we'll take up the mindset and some mental shifts, some things I had to have. Because of the martial arts, I was personally developed and as a leader already, because also being an evangelist, traveling around, speaking, and obviously as a college professor and so forth. So I had some leadership skills that I developed. And so that's going to be part of this. But real quick, let's cover some simple, basic things here. And I like to keep things very simple and basic. And so number one here in how to build a big team fast, first thing I talk about in this book is work on yourself while you work the system. So write that down, work on yourself while you work the system. That's principle number one in the book. Okay, work on yourself while you work the system. See, my friend, earlier this morning on my prayer walk, and also I do a personal development walk and so forth. But I saw a butterfly, and I was thinking about this. Now think about this. This butterfly used to be a caterpillar, slow moving caterpillars. By the way, some of you might feel like you got some caterpillars on your team, right? Moving too slow. ready for them to go from that. And one of the things, by the way, as the world's first breakthrough speaker, I assist people out of the, I don't just try to motivate people. So that's like trying to get the caterpillar to move faster. And I think we would all agree caterpillars need to move faster, but I assist the caterpillar into the cocoon, and then eventually out of the cocoon is a beautiful butterfly. So it's beyond motivation, the total transformation. So I use motivation, inspiration, education, and oftentimes a martial arts demonstration to assist a person in breaking through. So when I'm done with you, it's like going from from the caterpillar to the cocooning stage, and to literally, my friend, now just soaring free and in life. And so that's what we want. So that's what I do. I assist the caterpillar into the cocoon, eventually out of the cocoon as a beautiful butterfly. So if you're going to build a big team, one of the things you got to do is you've got to work on yourself. Now, it's always been said a true business, is a personal development course disguised as a business. What does that mean? That means the more you work on yourself, the better the system. Now, every company has their own system, but here's what I tell people in a generic sense. If you learn to work on yourself even more than you work the system starts working easier for you and starts working faster for you. So whatever that system is, whether in my system that I use, I always did 2 live Zooms a day. I did 2 live Zooms a day. Well, excuse me, wasn't Zooms, calls. Then after we started doing Zooms later on, but in the beginning, we would do calls, okay? I would do 2 live calls every single day, okay? But everybody has a different system. We had sizzle calls we would use, right? Whatever. So whether you do Zooms, whether you have, whatever. But what I did was I had 2 calls, one at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and 8 o'clock in the evening. And I would just teach my people, and all you got to do is get people on the call. So we're going to work together. We're going to be partners. I'm not your upline. You're not my downline. I came up with the term success line, where each of us creates a success for the rest of us. So I said, in essence, I work for you. Okay, we work together. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to do your best to get them on my call, and I'm going to do my best to get them in your business. Okay, now if you don't get them on my call and later on my Zoom, I can't get them in your business. But if you do that, and I would teach them simple questions, but every place has a formula, right? Like if it's a health company, question, would you like to get, say, hey, Joe, would you like to get healthier, wealthier, or both? Right? It's a system. I would teach people, ask the question. And the question is designed, for instance, matter of fact, just Joe, are you available to unmute just for a minute? I can just walk this out and real quick.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so Joe, do you mind if I ask you a question?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Okay, and by the way, folks, you can do this by phone, you can do this through text, you can do this through social media, right? But so I always ask, do you mind if I ask a question? And so they say, no, don't mind at all, right? And you could be texting, hey, do you mind if I ask you a question? They'll text back, no, don't mind. So here's the question, Joe. Would you like to get healthier, wealthier, or both?
Both sounds good to me.
All right. By the way, most 99.9% of people will say that, right? So again, this is one of the systems that I use, but I'm saying it's something that doesn't matter if you're dealing with a health company, it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, if you're dealing with crypto, right? Say something like, hey, do you just want to work for money, Joe, or would you like to learn how to put your money to work for you, even when you're not working?
Yeah, definitely have money working for me.
Right. So you see what I'm saying? So these are what's called systems. And the word system, by the way, with an S, if you put an S at the end, systems stands for save yourself time, energy, money, stress. Let me say it again. System is save yourself time, energy, money. But Dr. Breakthrough uses systems. That's several systems combined. That stands for save yourself time, energy, money, stress. And every last one of you, wouldn't you like to save yourself either time, money, stress, or all of those, right? In the chat, talk to me. Is there anybody other than me would like to save yourself time, energy, money, or stress? And Joe, come on, unmute again, because that voice you got, man, I'm almost done, but I need you just a few more, okay? So Joe, would you like to save yourself time, energy, money, or stress? Would you like to do that?
Yes, sir. That sounds like
Right.
a great
Well,
thing.
here's what we always have to employ the work of systems when you would do that. Okay. So now let's go back. So again, a system member, my friend, different companies have systems. All you got to learn to do is learn to work the system. But the most important thing you got to do is work on yourself. So if you can ask questions like this. So I asked Joe, again, let's go back to like a health company. So Joe, would you like to be healthier, wealthier, or both? He said both. So here's the next question if I'm dealing with that. And that is, would you like Joe to do both sooner or later?
Doing is a good thing.
Okay, sooner. Okay, good. That's exactly what I said, Joe, what I thought about it. Now, Joe, I got another question for you, if that's okay. How soon is soon to you?
Oh man, if it's about getting healthier and wealthier, we can start today.
There you go. All righty. So you're just the kind of guy I've been looking for, right? So folks, but you see how easy that is when you have a system, when you employ the work of a system. And by the way, so I cover in the book, my friend, some things like, but work. So the first main principle is you're going to work on yourself. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate that. Everybody give him a virtual clap, okay? In the chat, give him a virtual clap, a pat on the back. So anyway, so again, if you can work on yourself while you work the system. So whatever the system, whether it's most companies now have Zooms. And so I do a whole training on if you can point, you can get paid. Okay. All right. So if you can put, now mama told me don't point. So mama's not here right now. So don't worry about it. But folks, just take out your finger and point, right? And just repeat after me. I can't hear you, but you can hear me and now you'll hear yourself. And if your family's around and say, hey, this guy's making us do this. So don't think I'm crazy. You know? So come on, repeat after me. Say, if I can point, come on. So if I can point, I can get paid. Come on, here we go. Do it again. If I can point, repeat after me, I can get paid. Oh, Gail would learn how to point. Okay, Janice is pointing in the chat too. There you go. So if you can point, you can get paid, right? Point them to the Zoom, right? Point them to the three-way call. Point them to the, whatever the system is, right? Point them to the lead capture page. Point. If you can point, you can get paid, okay? So it's that simple. If you can point, you can get paid, my friend. But again, here's the key though. The key is you got to work on yourself while you work the system, whatever system or conglomeration of systems that you use. And why is that? Because, my friend, you don't have the same conviction until you first work on yourself. So you want to be working the system, but you want to work on yourself if not even more. And when I say work on yourself, this is where it gets a little touch and go. This is where it's kind of rough. And that is, you got to learn, when I say work on yourself, you got to learn how to talk to yourself. Okay. When I say work on yourself, you got to learn how to talk to yourself. See, they say 83%, this is worth noting, by the way, 83% of most self-talk is negative, meaning that if we listen to ourselves and our subconscious, now that's the subconscious, so it's not really, it's kind of like that iceberg. You just see the top, that's the conscious, but the real subconscious below is what's really talking, and 83% of that is negative. So if you can imagine, my friend, when you say, well, I want to build a big team, but your subconscious like, well, yeah, but you can't. Who do you think you are, right? What makes you qualify? Well, no, who you, and it's so amazing because stuff like, well, you're not Dr. Breakthrough. Yeah, well, Dr. Breakthrough wasn't Dr. Breakthrough either at once. I had to grow, I had to learn. By the way, the name Dr. Breakthrough, Willie Jolly and I were speaking at Howard University many, many years ago, 20-something years ago. And he said, hey, Doc, he said, I know you got a doctor in divinity, PhD in martial arts, few credits away from a doctor of naturopath. He said, but branding's everything, man. He said, listen, first of all, you explain breakthrough better than anybody I know. He said, you seem to have them more than anybody I know. He said, when you break those bricks and boards and stuff, and you write things on them like fear and procrastination and doubt and all that, he said, man, I just got an idea here. He said, when you break those bricks and stuff, let me see if I can grab a quick picture here and pop that on thing, make this a little more, so you're not just seeing me. Let's see here. So how would I get that up? Okay, double click on the picture. All right, there we go. I'm working it. I'm working it. All right, let me see. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you see that in the chat. A thumbs up or a yes or something. If you see that, let me know in the chat. So that's a copy of one of my books, Your Breakthrough is Guaranteed. But you see on there you go. Thank you in the chat for talking to me. Appreciate that. All righty. So you see there, where like things like lack of goals and limiting beliefs and negative self-talk and fear and excuses and being average and all that. So I write these things on boards of bricks, and then I break those bricks and break those boards, symbolizing, although things are hard, with enough focus and mentor, right? And mental shift and learning some methods, we can break through, right? So Willie Jolly said, man, so it's like a person has a problem, they go to a doctor, he writes out a prescription, and he said, you're the guy when somebody needs a breakthrough, you got the prescription, you should be called Dr. Breakthrough. Well, I looked at him, I don't know that that's all the way true, but I promise you one thing, I'll live the rest of my life to make sure it's true. So I said, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm not sure it's true, but I'll live the rest of my life to make sure it is. And it's stuck in that. So now, but what I'm saying is this, my friend, what I'm saying is this, and some of you take note of that. I could have been like used to in my earlier life. I would have like, well, no, I appreciate you being that much too kind. No, it's not really me, man. And I would always, in the guise of being so-called humble, I was turned down these compliments. And the funny thing was, if somebody criticized me, then I would accept them and kind of internalize them. And I'd find myself depressed from times. And I'd like, God, I don't understand. It's like, I didn't hear an audible voice, was like, he spoke to my spirit. It's like, look, I send people to compliment you. That's a gift from me. And you reject it. The enemy sends somebody to criticize you. You accept it and you internalize that. So you're depressed because you're rejecting the compliments, the gifts that could boost you up. And you're rejecting those under the guise of being humble, but you're accepting the criticism, which is made to tear you down. So I learned to, again, observe and check, because sometimes in every little bit of criticism, there's a nugget of truth, right? But I learned most importantly, though, to accept the compliments, my friend, and to build upon them. And so, listen, I want to say again, let me compliment each and every one of you, because you showed up, you're here. Gail or somebody said, you ought to be on it. You showed up, you're here. You want to learn about personal growth. You want to learn about how to build a big team. And so listen, my friend, sometimes, write this down. Sometimes you got to hear something 7 times, 7 different ways, or from 7 different people before you get it. And this might be the 7th time for somebody here. Maybe you've heard some different things, and this is when it all come together. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's sometimes success is like that combination lock, right? And you need 3 numbers, right? And sometimes you got 2, and it's like that thing is almost, that lock almost comes open, right? And then that 3rd number just bam. And I always tell people, would you like to know where you can get that 3rd number from? They're like, yes, right? Matter of fact, come on, talk to me in the chat. How many of y'all feel like in life sometimes, you got like 2 of those numbers and that combination lock, and like it almost comes open, but it's like 1 more number. How many of you feel like maybe that's like you're facing that in some areas of your life, and you want to know where to get that 1 number from, right? Okay, so come on, in the chat, talk to me. There you go. Yes, say yes, yes, or give me a thumb. Oh, there you go. Yep, yes. Okay, who else? Come on, talk to me real quick. Talk to me through the chat. Type to me. in the Zoom. There you go. Man, I can't wait till we get back to having live meetings. I just love the energy of being around people, and there you go. Yes. Okay. So those of you, thank you for responding. So here's the answer. I'm gonna tell you where you can get that number from. And the answer is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know for you. It might be in this Zoom right now. I don't know. It might be in my 21-day breakthrough challenge, which each one of you deserve to be able to take that journey. It might be in the next convention I don't know, my friend. It might be in the book that you read. I don't know. So you got to be like a bird. You got to kind of like be hungry. You got to have your mouth open, wide open, like the little baby birds, and and guess what? And it'll come. So I don't know. I just know, my friend. I just know I'm like a sponge, man. And anytime I can get around some training, anytime, my friend, I could get a good book, anytime I can go to a good seminar, anytime, and the blessing thing now is I get to speak at them and actually get paid. It's a whole lot easier now, but back then I had to pay and attend, right? And now, but what I'm saying is this, I'm telling you the answer that you're looking for. I don't know, in all honesty, but it could be the next seminar. It could be the next Zoom. It could be this Zoom. It could be this book. It could be my 21. I don't know. I don't know, my friend, but I'm just telling you, that's why you got to just stay hungry, stay open. And my friend, your day will come. As a matter of fact, here's one of the things you ought to, when I say how you talk to yourself, remember, number 1, you want to work on yourself while you work the system. How do you talk to yourself? You got to learn to give yourself compliments, right? You got to learn to the Bible says there's a finding pot to silver and a furnace to gold. So is a man to his praise. When I married my beautiful wife, Nadia, my ABCD, adorable brown caramel delight, she started calling me her king. I was like, baby, it was kind of like, yeah, I wasn't at the, it's not feeling the church I grew up in, kind of like didn't, it's more like we're sinners saved by the grace of God. We emphasize the sinner part more. So I was like, but king, I'm like, maybe king, you can call King Jesus. She's like, no, you're my king. You're my king. She kept calling me king. I was like, man. And at first it wasn't, and then it started making me feel strong. I was like, wow. And matter of fact, I kind of figured out, wait a minute, I need to call her my queen, right? So I think she thought, if this brother don't recognize who he is, I'm gonna keep calling until he finally figures it out. So matter of fact, we're having a contest now to see who can love each other the most. And I told her I thought I was winning. She said, no, big boy, we tied. But anyway, but again, so I call my wife my ABCD, adorable brown caramel delight. We're on a date the other day. And the guy said, would you like some dessert? I said, no, sir, bought mine with me, 100% natural. Okay. But what I'm saying is, but she built me up, and of course, and I do the same with her. As a matter of fact, I found out what she wanted to accomplish before we got married. And I said, what? And so we did a renewal of her vows not long ago. And one of the things she mentioned was that every single thing that she said she wanted to accomplish, I've empowered her to help her to do that. That was the greatest honor you could bestow, to tell me that. And because again, don't get me wrong, man, I love empowering people. I desire and aspire to inspire breakthroughs even after I've expired, but especially, for my own, right? But man, I tell you, there's a great thing. But here's what I'm saying. Your tongue, if you don't have somebody, like my wife was telling me, somebody, one of the ladies at church, she's like, oh my goodness, like you just like so beautiful. It's like, you must have so many people saying. She's like, well, my husband tells me that like all the time. And he always tells me I've got this inner and outer beauty. And he always tells me this. And so she was telling me, she's like, baby, like, there's a lot of things that you just like keep me full, like with your words, your kind words, and your building me up and so forth. I was like, well, baby, you do the same for me, right? But what I'm saying is this, but maybe you may not have anybody like that. And for a long time, I didn't have anybody. I had to do it with myself. And by the way, what I found out, watch this now, here's another point, right? What you need to understand. When I didn't like me, other people didn't like me. When I didn't like me, it seemed like nobody was attracted to me. It seemed like people didn't want to do business with me. When I learned to accept me and actually love me, listen now, other people started responding to me the way I responded to myself. In other words, when I didn't like me, they didn't like me. When I started liking me, they started liking me. When I became my favorite speaker, I became a bunch of other people's favorite speaker. I'm like, are you kidding me? Matter of fact, sometimes when I go to speak places, I'll show up and I say, hey, I had to show up. I heard one of my favorite speakers was speaking, so I had to show up to hear him. So I didn't miss the brother. In case you wonder who that brother is, me, right? And people laugh. I know y'all laughing, but I'm really serious. But it's the truth. When I didn't like my speaking, nobody else liked it. When I started saying, wait a minute, God gave me a special message. God gave me I got a voice that's going to help somebody, and you need to feel the same way, because in your business, my friend, that's what you're doing. And listen, you got to learn to talk to yourself. Like I said this morning, I went through my daily breakthrough attitude adjuster that I do every single day, and several times a day, my friend. You got to learn to say some positive affirmations to yourself. If you don't have somebody to say it to you, then you got to say it to yourself. And if you really start saying it to yourself, you're going to start running into people that, guess what, my friend? You're going to start running into people that start saying to you what you've been saying to yourself. I like what Muhammad Ali said. Every time I speak just about it, I try to use this. And he said this: most people heard the first part, but they didn't hear the best part. The first part was, I said I was the greatest. Well, that's great. That's good, but that ain't the good part. Here's the good part, and hardly anybody knows about. He said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it. Whoa, did you get that? Come on, write that down. He said, I said I was the greatest. By the way, it's in the book. But he said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I believed it. Now, how much is a long time? 10 years? I don't know. Is a long time 5 years, 2 years, 6 months? I don't know. But I just know one thing. He said what he wanted to believe. Guess what now? He said it long enough and loud enough until he eventually started listening to himself and then started doing what he believed he became. But wait a minute, in the beginning, guess what? It feels uncomfortable. In the beginning, he's like, am I lying? And, some people try to say, fake it till you make it. No, no one ever do that. Here's what Dr. Breakthrough says. Faith it until you make it. Ooh, come on, write that down. Faith it until you make it. Faith, F-A-I-T-H. Fully anticipating it to happen. Ooh, that's a good acronym right there. Faith, fully anticipating it to happen. No, we don't have to fake it till we make it. We can faith it until we make it. Start seeing yourself, start talking the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk about yourself, the way you view yourself. You got to change it, my friend. Why? Because this principle of building a big team, until you build you first, my friend, listen, even the system won't work as good, but work on yourself while you work the system. Work on yourself even more than you work the system. And the more you work on yourself, after a while, that system's going to start popping, my friend. I mean, like crazy. So work on yourself while you work the system. And it's simple, my friend, whatever that system is, our group of systems, use those, my friend. Like I said, whether it's getting them to a landing page, a squeeze page, getting them on three-way call, getting them on the Zoom, getting them on, listen, work the system. Again, just keep pointing, keep pointing, and you can't help but get paid. Oh, is this helping anybody other than me? Come on, in the chat, talk to me. Anybody? Matter of fact, anybody? Matter of fact, somebody unmute and talk to me for a minute. I like to hear some, let me hear some. Is this helping anybody? We just on the first principle. Is this helping anybody so far?
Can you repeat that acronym for faith?
Faith.
It's in the chat.
Anticipating, there it is. Joe put it in the chat. Yep. Fully anticipating it to happen. Fully anticipating it to happen. Now, somebody, come on, talk to me. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you getting anything out of this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Come on, anybody else? Yes, or yes.
Right, fast enough.
Okay.
Yes. As a matter
All
of fact, I was hoping you can repeat that other one too. You said you have to hear something 7 times, seven different ways, but then there was one more.
Are from 7 different people.
Okay, thank you.
It's in the book before you finally get it. That's why you can't be afraid to hear things. Some people say, well, I already heard that. No. It's like in the martial arts. In the Japanese word for sensei, a teacher rather, sensei, which means instructor. And my style was Ishinryu karate. And so I'd say, sensei, I already know I got this kick, or I got this punch, or I got this block. And he's like, no, you don't. I was like, no, I can do it with my eyes closed. He said, no, you still don't know it yet. I said, no, I mean, you could blindfold me. I could, and the kata, I could do it. He said, no, that's not good enough. I was like, well, what do you mean? He said, you got to do it until it becomes second nature. Like you just got to, I was like, wow. And so listen, my friend, here's what you have to understand. This may help some of you. The teacher and the master has failed more times than the student ever thought of attempting. Oh, let me say it again. The teacher, the master, has failed more times than the student ever dreamed of attempting. See, that's why, again, this breakthrough challenge, my friend, we're talking about give some different slants, some different things that's going to really help you. But you have to understand some of these things, my friend. It's not about, okay, I tried it and it worked. No. You got to commit to it. And it seems like it's not working, but you stay committed and keep on and keep on and keep on. And then bam, one day, all of a sudden, here you go. But guess what, my friend? But the more you work on yourself, the more you talk to yourself right, the more the way you think about yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk about yourself, the way you view yourself. And so my daily attitude adjusters is like this. Wow, what a great day to be alive. Now I do this every day now. And I have this set to music, by the way, and you'll get this. But anyway, wow, what a great day to be alive. I feel dynamite. I like me. I accept me. I love me. I'm going to have a super fantastic day today because I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed, too glad to be sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed, too elated to be agitated, too legit to quit, too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, and too good to be withstood. Circumstances are aligning themselves in my favor. I'm healthy, physically fit, and intellectually equipped. I have wisdom far beyond my years. I'm an extraordinary person with incredible abilities, which I will use to add value to others' lives, knowing that as I help others reach their dreams, I will automatically reach my own. I anticipate meeting the person or group of people today who are willing to use their power, wealth, and influence help me achieve my dreams. All day long, people will go out of their way to bless me. Today, I will add great value to someone's life. I will show compassion to those in need. I'll give strength to the weak and inspiration to the weary. Someone needs what I have to offer, and I gladly make myself available. I embrace abundance, and it embraces me. I am abundant in every good way. I am an abundance magnet. I like money. It likes me. It is attracted to me. It comes abundantly from many sources. Money is a way of keeping score, showing how many people's lives that I added value to. I may have been broke, busted, and disgusted, but now I declare I'm rich, growing, and overflowing. My business is booming. Checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose, experiencing great victories, supernatural turnarounds, and miraculous breakthroughs in the midst of great impossibilities. I am an overcomer. My mountain can't be removed. I will develop and practice my mountain climbing skills. If life knocks me down, I'll fall on my back, realizing as long as I can look up, I can get up. I'll make lemonade out of life's lemons. I commit to paying for my dreams with preparation and perspiration, so I won't have to live with my nightmares of regret. I do not procrastinate, because procrastination leads to devastation. It is the assassination of my destination. Thus, I will act now. I'm a doer. I get results to last. I now release the champion that is inside of me. I am the leader that multitudes of people are looking for and find. So I choose to succeed today and every day hereafter. Watch out, world. Here I come. Come on now. Come on. Joe says, I need that book. Yes. Hey, come on. Is anybody feeling this declaration? Do you see what I do to myself? You see how I get myself fired up? You see how I talk to myself, about myself? And these words, my friend, listen, like Muhammad Ali, some of them I didn't believe. But I kept saying it because I wanted to believe them. And then the more I started saying it, the longer I said it, the louder I said it, the more I heard myself. Faith cometh by hearing. And the more I heard it, then the more I started heeding it. And then the more I started acting upon it. And then other people started recognizing it. I'm saying, listen, my friend, listen. You say you wish you could capture the affirmations. Well, those of you who get the package, my friend, you're going to get the book. You're going to get the affirmation. You're getting this training. You're going to get my breakthrough formula, which, oh my goodness, real time. But anyway, real quick, I'll throw this at you. A formula is something that works every time by everyone that works it in every situation they work in it. Let me say it again. A formula is something that works every time by everyone that works it. Not everybody who knows it, by everyone who works it. And in every situation that they work it in. See, you can't just be a person that says, oh man, that guy sounds good. No. You got, and I want to make it sound as good as I can so you can grab hold of it, grasp it, so you can apply it, my friend. So that's why in the martial arts, I didn't become a grand master. Less than 100 of us that are 10th degree black belts. I didn't become a grand master by just showing up to class and listening to the sensei and watch the sensei. No, guess what? I had to do it. And then I had to do it and practice it even more at home, my friend. And then, but here's what I'm saying. You are far more powerful than you realize, my friend. There's so much power and potential on the inside of you, my friend. It's just, we got to dig down sometimes and we got to release it. You know, people used to tell me that stuff like this, and I'm like, man, you got the wrong guy. You don't know me. No. I knew the part of me that wasn't developed. I knew the part of me that wasn't all the way. I knew the caterpillar part of me. I didn't know the butterfly part of me. Come on, someone. Hey, how many come on, let's have a true confession. How many like me say that I'm well acquainted with the caterpillar building part of me? I just haven't learned the butterfly part of me yet, but that's why I'm here in this training, okay? There you go, in the chat. There you go. That's right. Talk to me. So the butterfly part, we got that down. I mean, the caterpillar part, right? The caterpillar part, we got that down. It's that butterfly part, right? It's like, I'm not all the way sure I think I want to. I'm like, and sometimes we're in, but then other times we're out. Folks, you got to keep talking to yourself. And then you got to surround yourself with others, my friend, who are going to talk. There you go. Come on now. That's right. The butterflies are emerging. Come on now. Come on. So that the daily attitude adjuster, I talked to somebody the other day, they were discouraged, and I gave them some things to help them. And then the other day, couple weeks ago, I should say. And then I was talking to him again as a family member just the other day, and they said, "Oh my goodness." I said, "Have you said did you do your daily attitude adjustment?" No. I was like, "That's amazing. I'm not the one that's discouraged, and I say it every day. You're the one that are, and you haven't said. You said it once and think you know it, right?" No. So again, work on yourself. See, that's what I'm saying. Work on yourself while you work the system. I'm telling you, my friend, I'm telling you, the work you do on yourself, some people can't see it in the beginning, but guess what? They'll see it later on when you end up building a big team, my friend, or your team that you're building starts going bigger and better and faster. And so, my friend, work on yourself while you work the system. It's what you think and meditate upon. It's who you allow to influence you. You know, you'll be the same you are today 5 years from now. One of my main mentors, Charlie Tremendous Jones, said, except for the books you read and the people you meet. Well, I put it this way, you're going to be the same the way you are today, a year from now, if not worse, except for the books you read, the people you meet, the Zooms you attend, and the seminars, Zooms and seminars you attend, and most importantly, the principles that you implement. The principles that you implement. See, my friend, that's why it's not enough just to hear something one time or a couple. No, the principles that you implement. I mean, I've got cassette tapes I've listened to hundreds of times. I'm not exaggerating, my friend. Same thing with VHS. Same thing now with some Zooms, some things that I've gotten, some videos even, just over and over and over and over, and letting it assimilate until it becomes part of me. See, work on yourself. I'm talking about what moves or motivates you. Do you know what puts you on fire? Do you know what motivates you? You got to learn that. Okay, principle number 2, main principle. Again, 7 main principles in the book. We'll cover them just briefly. Number 2, build a network with the same intensity that you build a career. Build a network with the same intensity with which you build a career. See, those of us who build a career, like I said, I went to college, right? And so, man, I didn't have anybody to pay my way, and there wasn't any scholarship things. So I worked 2 jobs, right? 2 jobs. I heard somebody say, you know, working full-time, I say work 2 part-time jobs while I went to school, and I couldn't figure out how you do that. I ended up doing a full-time and a part-time. Right? Sometimes you just do what you got to do. And I lived off 3.5 to 4 hours sleep a night, my friend, and day after day after day after day after day. But you know what? I was so focused, my friend, on getting that degree. I was so focused on my career. And it's a lot of times, you know, people that are working on their careers, they have such dedication and such commitment. If you can build a network with that same intensity, my friend, where you're just consistent. See, write this down. There's an M that's a whole lot more important than money. But once you create the M, it'll make you more money than if you tried to make the money. I know that sounds confusing. I'm gonna say it again. There's an M that's more important than money. But if you create this M, it'll make you all the money you really need. And that M is called momentum. It's called momentum. And how do you create momentum? I'm glad you asked. By consistently, get this now, by consistently doing the things that you're supposed to do that will build your team when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it, and just doing it until you do. Matter of fact, here's the formula. Do it when you feel like it. Do it when you don't feel like it. Just do it until you do feel like it. Let me say it again. Do it when you feel like it. Do it when you don't feel like it. Just do it until you do feel like it. Matter of fact, come on, unmute your line. I feel y'all. Unmute your line for a minute. Talk to me. I'm gonna have you say it with me. Unmute your line. Come on, unmute your line. Unmute your line. Come on, come back with me. Come with me. So I need you to say it with me. Do it when you say it. Repeat after me. Do it when you feel like it.
Do it when you feel like it.
Okay, no, let's make it personal. I'm gonna do it when I feel like it.
I'm gonna do it when I feel like it.
I'm gonna do it when I don't feel like it.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna do it when I don't feel like it.
I'm just gonna keep doing it until I do feel like it.
I'm
I'm just
doing
gonna
it
keep
till I
doing it until I do feel like it.
All right, here we go. Come on, talk to me again. So repeat after me. I'm gonna do it when I feel like it.
I'm gonna do it when I feel like it.
I'm gonna do it when I don't feel like it.
I'm gonna
Do it when I don't feel like it.
I'm gonna just keep doing it until I do feel like it.
I'm gonna keep doing it until I do feel like it.
All right. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You can unmute. I mean, you can mute back real quick. And then somebody is brave. Step up real quick and say that for all the rest of us. Somebody that's brave. Come on, just say that for the rest of us.
I am brave. I am Miss Gail. I'm
Come
gonna
on.
do it when I don't feel like it. I'm gonna do it when I do feel like it, but I'm gonna do it until I feel like it.
There you go. Okay. Yep. A little bit. So you start off with, I'm going to do it when you feel like it. Because see, everybody does that, right? But then we got to do it when we don't feel like it. That's where you're really developing it. And you just got to keep doing it till you do it. So thank you very much, sister. Anybody, somebody else come out. Somebody else come out too. Say it. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna do it when I feel like it.
Right.
I'm gonna do it when I don't feel like it.
Right.
And then I'm gonna do it until I feel like it.
Come on now. There you go. Come on. Somebody else. Come on. Somebody else unmute. Say that. Come on now. This is how I learned martial arts. They didn't tell me stuff.
I'm gonna do it when I feel like it.
Yes,
Gonna
sir.
do it when I don't feel like it, and do it until I feel like it.
There you go. So folks, come on, put that down in your spirit. Get it down. I'm going to do it when I feel like. Now, of course, everybody does that. But guess what? But what about when you don't feel like it? And so that's the thing. So I'm going to do it when I feel like it. I'm going to do it when I don't feel like it. I'm just going to keep doing it until I do feel like it, my friend. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you, it'll change your life for the rest of your life. So that's why I keep saying, my friend, work on yourself while you work the system, number one, but number two, build a network with the same intensity that you build a career. And if you're going to gain momentum, you got to learn to just do the things, just keep pointing, just be consistent, my friend. Just keep doing it. See, if you go after money, sometimes the money doesn't come as fast as you like. And now you're tempted to do something wrong, tempted to do something out of character. But guess what, my friend? Instead of focusing on the money, if you focus on creating momentum, watch this now, Proverbs 28:20, a faithful man, and that word man means mankind, right? A faithful man shall abound with blessings. In other words, once a person creates momentum, you can't stop the blessings from coming. But most people don't have the wherewithal to create the momentum. They give up too soon. They throw it. So listen, you got to do it when you feel like it, do it when you don't feel like it, just do it until you do. And so build that network, my friend, be getting to meet people and exchange, get their information and so forth, man. Talk to people, get to know people. One of my main mentors, Bill Bailey, had a company grossing $64 million a month back in the 70s. I said 64 million a month back in the 70s. No email, no fax machine, none of this high fangled stuff that we have here. Nothing wrong with them. I'm just saying, didn't have any of that. I was going through I bought everything, every course he had. And we're going through one of the coaching things that I paid a whole lot of money. I didn't pay, actually, I invested because it came back a whole lot more. But anyway, so I said, Mr. Bailey, what did you do to make $64 million a month? He said, young Dr. Breakthrough, you asked the wrong question. I said, oh, I apologize. What's the right question? You should have asked me how many people's lives I added value to that resulted in 64 million. He said, see, if you bring enough value to the marketplace, you can't help but receive value back from the marketplace. So he said, you're a spiritual man. What did the great master say? Somebody said they have to go. How to get the book? Okay, so real quick, this special that we're offering, let me put in the chat here real quick, the link. Okay, yeah, so let me see here. I'm all fired up. And so you can get the book at howtobuildabigteamfast.com, but the special that we're offering, that we're offering you, let's see here. I'm going to put the link here, my wife, that you should be able to go right and pay for there. You'll probably hear, let me see here. I got to jump on my email. I forgot I had closed out some things here. By the way, I'm doing it right. By the way, write down the word service, S-E-R-V-I-C-E. Write down the word service, S-E-R-V-I-C-E. I'm going to grab this link real quick and put it in the chat. And here we go. Let me see. Okay, here it is. So service, S-E-R-V-I-C-E. Now, I'm grabbing this link that my beautiful wife made to make it easier. So I always tell people I'm the kite, she's the string. She does the detail stuff. I'm the big picture guy. Okay, so there should be a link there and everyone should see there. Okay, okay, there you go, wrote down service, good, okay. So that's the link that you go and you can pay to get the book and you'll get the daily attitude adjuster. You're gonna get the, the link will tell you everything. You're gonna get my breakthrough formula, which is like a You get the MP3, you'll get the MP4, my breakthrough formula. I break it down in 14 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating. It's so good. I listen to it myself every year, like seriously, and get breakthroughs myself. So anyway, and the book's going to be autographed to you, by the way. You'll get the book. As a matter of fact, I've got some here sitting ready to go now, and we'll get them all autographed to you. And that info. So anyway, the thing is right there in the chat. You should be able to click on that link right there on the chat. And by the way, the first three that click on that link and make their purchase, the very first 3 people, my wife and I wrote a book together called Position to Prosper, 8 Golden Nuggets to Ensure Your Biblical Prosperity. The first 3 people that the order comes in, you're also going to get this book free on top of the How to Build a Big Team Fast. By the way, the man or woman, this is good. The man or woman who does not read is worse than the man or woman who cannot read. Let me say it again. The man or woman who does not read is worse than the man or woman who cannot read. Why? Because you've got an ability that you're not utilizing. And so again, but the first 3 now, so go click on that link. You can do it right now. Take care of that. And the first 3 people will get that extra book from my beautiful ABC D&I, signed to you specifically and dated and so forth. And you get all that. Okay. So service. Now, if you wrote down the word service, I know some of you are probably real quick typing in and do all that. So I'll talk while I do it. Matter of fact, let's see here. Hey, do you see a magic marker or something over there? Real quick. Thank you. So let me real quick, when some of you are, we'll get to that link there. Okay, so on the paper, let's see, let me get rid of this background so y'all can see it better. Okay. So write down service. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put 2 vertical lines through the S. Okay, 2 vertical lines to the S. 1 vertical line through the C. And you'll see that service is the dollar and cents of everything that we do. So we don't make our money at the expense of people. We make our money at the service of people. Okay. So again, service, pardon me, is the dollar and cents of everything that we do. We don't make our money at the expense of people. We make our money at the service of people. All righty. And so the more people you serve, and again, you want to just be building networks, just building, getting to meet people. Because what happens when the right time comes, you're going to be able to make the presentation. Okay, real quick. Let's move on. Oh my goodness. Your ability, write this, or at least writing mine, your ability to network will eventually determine your net worth. Your ability to network, to connect with different people, will eventually determine your net worth. Okay, so you want to constantly be building your net worth. As Mary Kay Asher said, everybody you meet, treat them as if they got a sign on around them saying, "Please make me feel important." Okay, if you can master that. Was it Norman Vincent? No, not Norman Vincent. Oh man, who's the guy with the book? Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Oh my goodness. If you could just, it was, I think who it was, it said, long after people they'll forget your name and everything else, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. What was it? The great poet, what was her name? Oh man, Oprah talks about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. Anyway, it'll come at midnight probably. No, baby, the lady that said you'll remember how people made you feel. She said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou, there you go. Thank you. All right, Maya Angelou. Okay, there you. Oh, y'all typing in there too. Okay. Alrighty. So, let's see here. So one of the things you got to learn to do is you got to learn to get good Like, you got to come up with some things like that you can give to people for free. Like you can build your network by having a name squeeze page, we call it, where you give something free, a report or something valuable, and then people put their information in, but by going to different gatherings. But again, you got to build your network, just build, be meeting people. You never know. Several companies want to fly me out and I'll fly out. My wife's like, babe, you're not even gonna work with that company. Why are we flying out here? She's like, I said, because I never know who I'm gonna meet. And sometimes I meet somebody that I'll fly out there, that company I don't do business with, but I meet somebody else that they flew out that we end up doing business with. So again, it's constantly building, you just don't know. It's just building your network, okay? That's going to determine. Number 3 is become a product of the product. And everybody knows that, right? Become a product of the product. See, facts can only at best tell, but testimonials sell, right? Testimonials. When you can learn, my friend, to tell your story well, to tell your story often. And these are things that we cover here in the book, my friend, but you got to learn to become a product of the product. And once you become a product of the product, then that will sell, my friend. That's, by the way, once you get a powerful testimonial, like I'm telling you, so you got to work like hard to create the testimonial. And then, my friend, and whether it's a product testimonial or a money, testimonial, right? I'll never forget with the company I built to 1.5 million people. I was up the first 3 nights, like 2 nights in a row. I didn't sleep. Like I was up 3 nights. But my wife said, babe, you come to bed? Oh, no. I got to create this. I got to create this story. And when I create this story, I'm going to sell this thing like crazy. And what happened? I had such a powerful story out the gate that when I talk to people, it's like irresistible. They like, whoa, right? So number 4, fourth principle is concentrate on providing solutions. Concentrate on providing solutions, number 4, instead of just making sales. Concentrate on providing solutions instead of just making sales. Now listen to me. There's one thing, no matter what color, what country, what continent, what class. I don't care if they're high class, middle class, low class, or no class. One thing people buy, they buy what they perceive to be a solution to their problems. One of the things I teach you, my friend, and you'll learn, is that I'm going to show you how you got to only speak about your product in light of its problem-solving capabilities, right? One company, the owner and I would fly around a corporate jet, and he'd say, he wrote a book called Guaranteed Prospects. He's like, Dr. Breakthrough's the only guy I know who doesn't need my book. He said, this guy can recruit people at will. He can sell ice to an Eskimo. I said, well, I appreciate those kind words, but I don't think Eskimos need ice, but if they need some, I want them to get it from me before they get it from you. No, but I said, seriously, though, I can't recruit people at will. I listen real well and I watch real well. When I hear people talk about their struggles and I see them struggling, I simply present my business, my product, my service in light of its problem-solving capabilities. And so I'm not a salesperson per se, I'm a problem solver. However, when I help solve people's problems, I, get this now, deserve to get paid, and I get paid. The word deserve in Danish, D means from, serve means for service, from service. See, when you realize you provide a service, you deserve. When I started realizing I deserve to get paid, I started attracting. Like again, one thing is I say every day, money flows freely and frequently from expected and unexpected sources in exchange for the value that I consistently bring to the marketplace. So come on, put in there, I deserve to get paid. Come on, I deserve to build a big team. I deserve. That's why you're here. So that's the principle number 4. Remember, I said concentrate on providing solutions. And then number 5, learn to move people who can move products. Learn to move people can move products. You remember Charlie Brown, old story of Charlie Brown, where, Charlie Brown's a guy who had little or no influence, right? And what about E.F. Hutton? Does he have little or a lot of influence? And that is what? A lot. Remember, when E.F. Hutton speaks, people what? Listen. So guess what? When I started, many years ago, I was like Charlie Brown, little or no influence. But guess what? The more I kept growing, the more I kept saying things to myself about myself, right? The more I started growing, the more I started implementing. Guess what? I became like an E.F. Hutton, where now I speak, people listen. And now they not just listen, they pay me. Can you imagine? When I first started speaking, I was like, man, if folks would pay me to speak, I'd pay them to listen. I used to have to. And then one day I got good enough, they said, man, no, we got to pay you. So learn to move people who can move product. In other words, as you grow up the leadership scale, see a scale 0 to 10, most people would put themselves as a 4 or 5. Charlie Brown would be a 0 or 1. E.F. Hutton would be a 10, right? Right. So think. Most people, when they build, they're going to talk to people their level and below because they feel comfortable, right? So again, you got to come outside your comfort zone. I have time to get into that, but that's all in the book. You got to come outside your comfort zone. Why? Because, watch this now, because when you just speak to the people your level and below, your team's not going to be that strong. It's just like with my wife, you got to learn to recruit up. Hello, somebody. You got to learn to pray. By the way, the greatest book ever written says you have not because you ask not. So you got to up your ASK, ask. You got to ask. Look, the Bible says you have not because you ask not. That's never going to apply to me. I'm going to ask. You're going to have to tell me no. Listen, tell me yes, tell me no, tell me something. I got to go, but you going to tell me something. All righty. So listen, you got to learn. And as you're of service, listen, when you learn to start moving people, there's a thing called human, psychology and human nature. You got to learn to work with human nature instead of against it. And so, but the more you up your leadership skills and your ability, my friend, then you'll have more power with more powerful people. And when you get those powerful people, guess what? Most people go after followers. No, excuse me. Most people go after what I call needers. Man, my time's almost, okay. Most people go after what I call needers. Then you got followers. Then you got higher level leaders. I thought this all in here. Then you got leader of leaders, and then the highest level, leader of leaders. So again, the bottom rung is needers. People, oh, so-and-so needs that. That's the last one you want to talk to. Scripture says, don't cast your pearl before swine. They're needy for a reason, my friend. They're not going to pay attention to you. And anyway, most people go after needers, and they got a needy team, and the team drags them down so much, and after a while, they end up quitting the whole business because they drained. I call them in my book VDP, very draining people, right? You don't want VDPs. You want learn to get some VIPs, some very important people, some VDP, very determined and people. But you gotta learn to move, get this now, people. You gotta have one of the keys, my friend, if you'll follow me, I have an ability to move leaders and attract leader of leaders. So when I start my business, my friend, I teach people, if you go after followers, they'll be with you this week and trying to get you in another deal next week. If you go after leaders, when you get the leader, you automatically get the follower. Hello, you automatically. Now, once you get strong enough, you could take a few leaders, but you can't start with all leaders. You have a weak, watered down team and nobody want to be part of it. You won't even want to be part of it after a while. Sorry. Oh my goodness. So again, that's why my 21-day challenge is so important. But you got to learn to move people who can move products. Okay, man. Number 6, learn to only look for those who are looking for you. Game over right here. Learn to only look for people who are looking for you. Learn to only look for people who are looking for an opportunity. See, y'all keep kissing that frog, think it's going to turn into a prince. You got warts all over your lips. You keep kissing, it ain't changing, let it go. Okay, I shouldn't be laughing. I apologize. Okay, here we go. Okay, no, serious though. Watch this. Listen. When the man goes hunting for oysters, people think, no, he's not hunting for oysters. He's hunting for pearls, but the pearl is locked in the oyster. So he's got to get the oyster, crack it open. Guess what? He's looking for what? A pearl. If you're looking for oyster, he's got it. No, he's looking for a pearl. Opens up the oyster and there's no pearl. Guess what? They call it shucking. They just shuck it, get rid of that one, get another one. Why? Because he's looking for he's not looking for oyster, he's looking for the oyster to have the pearl in it. He's looking for the pearl, but he doesn't know what oysters have the pearls in it, so he's checking them out real quick. Bam, cracks up another one, don't have it. Does he feel rejected? No, he's not. Does he feel? No. And so many people feel rejected and depressed and discouraged. And that's why, my friend, you're not powerful and be able to build your big team because you're afraid of the no's. Welcome the no's. I'll be like thanking people like, thank you. Matter of fact, you can get so good, you get to a place where you can never get another no again. And that is, I teach you here, learn to say no first. If they just look like they, it's like, you know what, this might not be the best time for you. I'm very busy, man. I got to move on to someone else, right? Anyway, so it'll be a shame to have as much fun when I'm teaching, but I hope you're getting something here. But here's the problem, my friend. You keep trying to recruit people that don't want to be recruited. You just, no, I'm only looking for people who are looking for me. I'm only looking for people looking for opportunity. And guess what? Sometimes you got to go, guys got to go through 100 oysters to get to one with the pearl, but the pearl is worth it. And after a while, he goes through only 50 and finds a pearl. After a while, he goes through 10 and finds a pearl. And that's, I'm telling you, because the more you get honed, and I'm only looking for those who are looking for me. I'm only looking for those who are looking for opportunity. It'll come. Okay. Man. Okay. So much more. But okay. Last thing, number 7, last principle. And that is spend maximum time with maximum people and minimal time on minimal people. Let me say it again. Learn to spend maximum time with maximum people, minimum time with minimum people. Learn to spend maximum time on maximum projects and minimal time on minimal projects. So many people are busy, but they're not producing because it's busy work versus productive work. Jesus talked vaguely to the crowd, but these 12, the 10, 11, 12, the 12, he pulled them aside and he poured into those 12. And through the 12, he sent them out 2 by 2. And through the 12, he was able to literally reach to the world. So listen, you are more powerful than you can imagine. You have access to some information that'll change your life. You got access to a breakthrough mentor, my friend, that I want you and I to go on a journey together. I've got my 21-day breakthrough challenge that we're looking to start on Monday with the folks that are ready to go. And I'm telling you, my friend, people, you're guaranteed to get 1 or more breakthrough in 21 days or less. Now, this is going to be a whole new challenge that I'm doing, my friend. And I'm going to be live. It's not some where it's on a website. No, I'm going to be live. We're going to be meeting 15 minutes every day, my friend. I think one of those days I'm speaking, so I may have to, we'll see if we'll adjust it, but it'll be inside of a Facebook group too. And so the recordings will be there, but we'll be live every day. Maybe one day I may have to try and see if I can juggle a thing, but you got to be part of it. If you like what we're doing here, honey, you ain't seen nothing. I'm talking about flat out. And by the way, have you ever, the challenge is open for more participants. Yes. And so you're going to connect with our sister Gail Yolander, and we're going to do this thing. We've got some things planned for you. So, but man, I went a little over, so I got to stop here, see if anybody's got quick questions, and then we'll just answer those questions for you. But listen. I didn't get a chance to do this. I usually show you how to put together a chart of the benefits for your company, whatever company you work with, whatever. I know we got people here from a couple of different ones, but I did this for my book, and I demonstrated with people. And so I'll send you where I actually did this with a group. And but let me just give you a few of these, and let me show you something here. And that is this. How many of you would you be interested in just keep a mental note? Just take a mental note if you want to write down. I'll just give you not even maybe half, right? What about a powerful guide? Okay, think about this. A powerful guide. Oh, let's see here. A powerful guide that empowers you to become the best version of yourself. Does that interest you? Yes, or maybe no. Okay, would that interest you? Next thing. What about learning one question that I learned at a $400, it cost me $400 to attend this seminar, and it made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Would you be interested in learning what that one question that I had to pay $400 to learn, but if I could give that one to you, and it made me hundreds. Now, how many of y'all know if I paid $400 for something and it made me hundreds of thousands, that's a great deal, right? Okay, would you like to learn that? Yes, or yes. Okay, would you like to learn how to get your MBA, massive bank account, without having to go to college to get an MBA, Master's of Business Administration? By the way, a lot of folks with their Masters of Business Administration have another MBA. It's called mini bank account because they're overqualified. Hey, how would you like to learn the shortcut or the fast track to your success, 100% guaranteed? Okay. How would you like some principles of how to learn how to move people, powerful people who in turn can move other people and products, creating larger commissions? Would that interest you? Would it interest you to learn proven secrets that created a 6-figure per month income within 5.5 months for the company? Would that interest you? Yes or yes? Would it interest you to learn the one thing, learn 3 powerful recruiting scripts and questions that produce millions in commissions? Would it interest you to learn the ability to work, get this now, to learn the secret of a master recruiter who recruited over 900 people in 5.5 years, resulting in 1.5 million people? Okay, so how many of you answered yes to at least one of those? Some of y'all know did 2, 3, but how many of you, real quick in the chat, how many of you answered yes to any of those? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there you go. So I put together this, and basically all of these are talking about my book. Okay. So what I do when I speak, I'll go through this and say, how many had at least one? People rate, how many had 3? How many had 5? How many had, one guy had everything on the sheet because I often pass the sheet out, right? He had every last one of them. And I show them how you just discovered 1 reason or 2 reasons or 3 reasons or 5 reasons why you have to get my book. I mean, you said it. See, write this down. People don't do things for or my reasons. They do things for their own. So I got to help them discover their reason why they want to get my book. And then I show you how the reasons why they want to get in your business, right? You want them to discover, right? A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You want to get so good that they say, oh my goodness, yeah, I got to be part of that. And so I showed you how to develop something like that, and we'll cover. So anyway, I got to stop. I'm done. Has this helped anybody? Yes, yes, or yes. Unmute for a minute. Unmute for a minute. Has this helped anybody? Yes, yes, or yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Most
Thank
definitely.
you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All righty.
Yes.
Well, guess what? I got a whole lot more. So 21 day. Sister Gail, come on out here, Sister Gail.
I'm here.